What's up, y'all? One day I will get Lucky Charms to sponsor me because I am their biggest fan. So, tomorrow morning I have my first official triathlon, Olympic distance. I'll be doing the Boulder Sunrise Triathlon, which is around the Boulder Reservoir. Yeah, so I think I am more excited than anything, especially because it's fun to train for something much longer distance and then have to do the shorter distance just to see how quickly you can do it. It's not really a matter of like, can I make it through this? It's more of like, can I win? Which would be really cool. I was gonna take you through a few of the items that I'm gonna bring tomorrow to the race. We're starting at around 7:15. I'm a younger guy, so I'm assuming that I'll be going out first into the water. Yeah, so feeling confident, feeling like I have a pretty good amount of strength. This week was a little bit of taper. Didn't feel like I needed much taper, so a few days pushed heart rate up a little bit more than others, and others I just took some time to recover. So jumping into it, for the swim, I picked up a Synergy wetsuit, put it on once in the pool, and then of course rinsed it off afterward. So we're gonna give this guy a test drive tomorrow morning. I'm actually really excited for the swim because one, I've never done a triathlon, and two, I've never done anything swimming at all. And so this will be pretty exciting, and I feel like I look super cool wearing the wetsuit, so that'll be a big plus. I'll be picking up all the tri babes. And then just standard swim cap, goggles, the essentials. Hopping up out of the water, I'll be peeling off the wetsuit to reveal this bad boy. So it's a Garneau tri-suit, decent amount of padding, some pockets. Also feel like I look pretty darn cool in this bad boy too, so I am excited to throw this thing on tomorrow and just rip it on the bike. I've got some socks, got some Saucony's Power Runs. These shoes I love. They've got some really wide supports, and I really enjoy that. I think it supports my knees pretty well. I think it supports kind of the power that I like to put out while running, which granted is not much now, but in the future it might be. As far as nutrition, I've got a few energy gels. Running with a few of these, I don't think I'm going to need much nutrition, as this race will probably take up most of my glycogen stores, but won't need anything extra on top of that. So I'm feeling pretty confident with just nutrition, and as well as some salts. And so I'll probably take this midway through, just make sure I'm not losing the essential sodium that I need. And yeah, here's a little sneak peek of the sexy bike mobile that I'll be taking tomorrow. So it's a Trek Madone, pretty standard. Yes, these are clip-ons, and yes, I will be replacing these for full-time clip-ons sometime in the near future. I've got some Shimano shoes. They don't have much flexion, which is very nice. Good power output from that. I've got some, underneath the helmet, I've got some TT bars that I was able to try out yesterday as well. Feels pretty comfortable. And these guys are a lot more stable, which I'm happy with. Do not purchase the $40 ones off of Amazon. They will not work for you, to say the least. Just a nice little helmet. Feeling super aero with this bad boy. I think the mindset going into tomorrow, overall just exciting to be there. I think that I can put in a pretty strong fight for my first event. And that's really what I'm excited to do. Just push it, swimming, make sure I get technique down and just rinse and repeat. I'm feeling strong on the bike, so just really rip it across that course. And there's a little bit of elevation, so the road bike that I have could come into handy with that. I gotta be weary of the roads in Boulder because right off Highway 93, there is a lot of glass everywhere. I rode the course a little bit yesterday and popped a tire, and I do not want that to happen tomorrow. That would be a bummer. And then running, see how my legs feel after pushing it on the bike a little bit. Probably stay around 170 beats per minute and just rock it. So I'm really excited to give it a go. And we'll bring you guys along with the process. What's up, guys? Some pretty big moves this last week, and I don't even mean this haircut. That's right, your boy this last Sunday podiumed on his first triathlon. Let's go. Alright, now that all the hype is over, let's dive a little bit into some of the mindset, some of the process, some of the things that worked, and some of the things that did not work. For one, the podium was totally unexpected. I got second place, and I'll be honest, first place completely smoked me. Going into the race was very interesting, very different from anything else that I've done in the past. So essentially, I showed up an hour beforehand, which was pretty much the exact amount of time that I needed. Set up shop, put my bike on the rack, put a towel down, all of my running and biking gear that I needed during transitions onto that. Made sure I had nutrition going into the bike ride and then also the run. Double, triple checked everything, made sure that, bike was in good working order, good to fly through transitions and hit the road running. So starting the race, I threw on my wetsuit, jumped in the water for a little bit, and that was a shock to say the least. Water was colder than a pool, although it wasn't even that cold. Jumped in nonetheless, warmed up extremely quick, and just started getting the arms moving. The first thing I noticed immediately was the water was not flat. It was not still. It was, slamming into my face while I was trying to take a breath, and I knew it was going to be a very interesting experience. Short little countdown to start us off, and then boom, everybody's going. And sure enough, getting hit by elbows. Luckily Muay Thai prepared me for that one, just threw a few of those in there. But in all seriousness, ran into a lot of people, got hit by a lot of things, and it was literally just pure chaos. And there was something so magical about that moment. And it did feel quite primal, even though everything's super safe and there's nothing really to worry about. Just the feeling of a bunch of men running into water and like trampling over each other. It was cool, It was a super cloudy day, so fairly dark as far as the setting, and people are flying through the water. It's an excellent experience. And sure enough, through the water, I got passed by everybody and their mother, and that's all right. I knew I just needed to keep going. I was able to progress pretty well in the swim. I think by the end of it, I was just under a 2-minute per 100 meter pace. And so for the first time doing open water, I felt pretty confident with that. I think the wetsuit helped tremendously. So got out of the water, 32 minutes, quickly ran over to the transition area, grabbed the bike, put on my shoes, helmet, glasses, made sure all of my tri-suit gear was intact, put nutrition in my pockets, and hit the road. And I definitely had a panic feeling as soon as I jumped on the bike of like, dude, I definitely missed something. This is gonna go terrible. Oh well, here we go. Fortunately, did not forget anything. jumped on the bike and I hit it pretty darn hard. I do not have a tri bike, but I was still able to average 21.5 miles per hour for the longer 26.5 mile bike ride distance that this triathlon had. And I think that was a pretty solid effort. It was almost as good an effort as the first place podium winner on a fairly expensive tri bike. And so I think there's a lot of room to grow. I think I'm extremely capable on the bike, and with the tri bike, I'll be able to push even more. And so that's exciting to know. And I think I generally had even more in the tank that I could have given into that effort, pushed at least 22 miles per hour, 22.5 miles per hour, and yeah, make up some time there. So I got off the bike at an hour, I think just under an hour 14 for the 26.5 miles. Transition 2 was super quick, took off everything, hung the bike up, put on the shoes, and out the gate. One thing that I noticed immediately as I was getting off the bike and starting my run is during the swim, I swallowed so much water, a ridiculous amount of water, and I knew I did too, and it started kicking in while I was running, and it was the most intense stomach pain ever. My mindset was, hopefully I can get to the first aid station, chug down some salt, throw down some water, and hope that all of the cramping and crap that was going through my stomach would be resolved. The first aid station was a little further out than I expected, but as soon as I hit it, went through that process, and by mile 3, felt awesome. All of that stomach pain went away, morale, shot through the roof, and my negative split for the run was pretty intense. I think I had a lot more that I could have pushed out on the run. Nonetheless, I think I averaged a 7:40 pace, and I finished the run in 48 minutes, somewhere around there. The total triathlon time was 2 hours 39 minutes, some seconds. So overall, pretty happy with that performance. I think the timing of this race is essential. Just being able to get up on that podium and see that this training is working and that I'm not a terrible triathlete, that's a good thing to know. Funny enough. And it's really making me contemplate what I want to attack in Wisconsin. And so Wisconsin's coming up in a few months. I am overall super excited at this point. I've just been envisioning that day, envisioning that Ironman gate with the little clock on top, and honestly wondering what that clock is going to say. To be completely frank, I want to shoot for Kona. I think Wisconsin can be fairly competitive, and I think there's a lot that's going to have to happen, especially training volume's gonna have to go up. Probably average at least 16 hours a week, with 100-mile rides every weekend, and I think I'm coming to terms with that physically and mentally. And so this week, straight out of the triathlon, hitting it pretty hard. I'm going to be doing an 80-mile ride Saturday. Actually really looking forward to that. I'm also going to be looking into a tri bike, just to give myself a little bit more of an advantage on kind of the thing that I feel strongest on. The elevation loss of going to Wisconsin, a tri bike, and increased volume over the next few months, I'm hoping will add up to a decent shot at Kona. I believe that'll be first and second place, maybe just first place in Wisconsin in my age group. And screw it, let's just go for it. It's one of those things where it's like, I've already spent tons of money on this darn thing and a ton of time, might as well shoot for the top, baby. But anyway, I hope this is motivational more than anything, that you don't have to be a star performer swimmer as a child. You don't have to be a crazy endurance runner coming up through high school to be able to do well in this sport. But that's a wrap for my first triathlon. I don't think I will be performing anymore between now and Wisconsin. I think it's just going to be focus and go time for the next few months. They're going to suck, but they're also going to be incredible. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and please, let me know any advice that you might have for me. Let me know if you guys need some advice as well, because I damn sure am struggling through all of this, especially swimming, man. Swimming always gets the best of me, but I will get there, and you will too. So I will see you next time. Adios.